Everybody in NASCAR has long debated changes to the sport, with one of the biggest topics being an increase in horsepower. Many veteran drivers have been pushing for more power in their cars, believing it would make racing more competitive and exciting. But NASCAR President Steve Phelps recently made it clear that increasing horsepower is not an option right now. He dismissed the idea, calling it an unnecessary expense. His response has sparked mixed reactions from fans and drivers, with some agreeing with the financial concerns while others feel their voices are being ignored. Since the introduction of the next-gen car, NASCAR has been making adjustments to improve racing. Some of the biggest names in the sport, like Brad Keselowski, Joey Logano, and Kevin Harvick, have been vocal about the need for more horsepower. They believe it would make driving the car harder, requiring more skill and improving the overall racing experience. Despite these arguments, Phelps made it clear that NASCAR does not see increased horsepower as the solution. He explained that while drivers always ask for more power, it is not necessarily the right move. According to him, the focus should be on making the cars perform better through other means, like adjustments in gearing and shifting. He said, "I don't think the answer is more horsepower because more horsepower is expensive." This shows that financial concerns are playing a big role in NASCAR's decision-making. With teams already struggling with costs, adding more horsepower would increase expenses even further. Phelps suggested that instead of focusing on horsepower, NASCAR is looking at other ways to improve racing, such as modifying the short track package. One of the biggest reasons behind NASCAR's hesitation to increase horsepower is money. Running a competitive Cup Series team is already expensive, and higher horsepower engines would raise costs even more. Many teams are facing financial struggles, and NASCAR is trying to help them stay afloat. Phelps revealed the teams have three main priorities: staying competitive on the track, increasing the value of their charters, and finding a way to become profitable. Right now, teams feel they are competitive, and their charters have value, but profitability remains a major issue. Phelps admitted that most Cup teams are losing money and NASCAR needs to find a solution. He emphasized that fixing this financial issue is a top priority. A big part of NASCAR's revenue comes from TV deals, but recent years have seen a decline in viewership. This has forced NASCAR to look for new ways to attract fans and boost income, and some have even suggested that bringing back higher horsepower could bring more excitement to the sport and increase TV ratings. But NASCAR does not seem convinced that this is the answer. Fans are divided on the horsepower debate. Some agree that the financial burden is too high, while others feel that racing has lost some of its excitement due to lower horsepower. Many longtime fans remember the days of 850 horsepower cars and believe that today's 670 horsepower limit has made racing less thrilling. For drivers, the frustration is clear. Many believe that increasing horsepower would separate the best from the rest, rewarding those with the most skill.
The way to make it more exciting is give them more horsepower and let them run faster. The faster they run, the more the drivers has to stay on his toes. And when you get cars running 200 mile an hour instead of 185, all the drivers are not capable of running that speed that close to each other. So that's the first thing to really separate the cars, because that's the way it used to be.
Since horsepower is off the table, NASCAR is looking at other ways to improve the competition. NASCAR has already made adjustments to short track racing, with recent updates to the aero package. These changes aim to make passing easier and create more exciting battles on the track. But teams are still adjusting to these updates, and it remains to be seen how effectively they will be in the long run. Another major focus is the overall financial health of NASCAR teams. Sponsorship struggles have made it difficult for some teams to compete at the Cup level, and the current charter system helps provide stability, but NASCAR is still working on a way to make teams more profitable. One of the biggest changes for 2025 is that NASCAR will race outside the United States for a points-scoring event for the first time since 1958. The Cup Series will head to Mexico City and compete at the Autodromo Hermanos Rodriguez, a famous track that has hosted Formula One and other major racing events. This marks a huge step in NASCAR's attempt to grow internationally, and some fans are excited about the idea of expanding to a new market, but others are worried about how this will impact the traditional feel of the series. The 2025 season will also see new tracks added to the NASCAR playoffs. Gateway and New Hampshire Motor Speedway will now be part of the championship fight. The season finale will once again take place at Phoenix Raceway, which has hosted the final race since 2020. Many fans have called for a change to the championship venue, arguing that Phoenix does not always produce the most exciting racing. However, NASCAR has decided to keep it as a final stop for at least another year. With all these changes, some fans and drivers have expressed frustration. They feel that NASCAR is moving too far away from its traditional tracks and losing its core identity. In response, Phelps has defended the decisions, saying that NASCAR must continue to evolve. He stated that schedule variation is necessary to keep the sport growing and that different markets need to be explored. He also pointed out that races in new locations like the Chicago Street Race have been successful despite challenges such as bad weather. Phelps also hinted that NASCAR is not done making changes. He suggested that more international races could happen in the future. There is even talk of racing in Canada or other countries, and while nothing is confirmed yet, NASCAR is clearly looking at different ways to expand. Despite the controversy, NASCAR is sticking to its plan. The 2025 schedule shows that the sport is willing to take risks and try new things. Some of these changes might work well, while others might not. Either way, fans can expect an exciting and unpredictable season. But what about a racer who is also changing the way NASCAR does things? Cletus McFarland is a YouTuber with over 4 million subscribers who has made a big name for himself in the world of motorsports. Recently, he confirmed that he will be racing at Talladega later this spring, and fans are already excited. He made his ARCA Menards Series debut at Daytona and brought a lot of attention to the race. His in-car camera live stream had over 60,000 to 70,000 concurrent viewers, and the race itself got 1.16 million viewers on Fox, making it the most watched ARCA Daytona race in over 10 years. This is what people are calling the Cletus effect. NASCAR and ARCA are always looking for ways to bring in new fans, and Cletus McFarland is helping them do just that. He's not just another driver, he's a personality. He has a big presence online, he owns a racetrack, and he's bringing his YouTube audience into the world of stock car racing. For a long time, NASCAR has been missing strong personalities that fans can connect with. But Cletus changes that. Even though he's new to ARCA, he has a lot of respect for the sport. After his first race at Daytona, he spoke about how much he still has to learn, but he also showed a lot of passion. Right now, he is still new to stock car racing, and moving up to NASCAR's top levels is not easy. But with his determination and growing experience, it's not impossible. Now before you leave, just don't forget to give you a like, smash that subscribe button, and also ring that notification bell for more upcoming uploads.